For joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So again, we don't know exactly what happened. There'll be there'll be investigations, and there may indeed even be, criminal proceedings, presumably. But we've seen the video. I think you've probably seen the video of that incident. It does look as though something that went horribly wrong, an arrest that went wrong, not an intentional killing. What did you draw from that? What are the
convenience of having it in your home? Five 344-4144 today.
Hi, I'm Jane King, and thank you for watching. This show is all about public, private, and blockchain companies. We bring you the innovators behind the companies making the headlines in that space. Some are sponsored, some are invited, all are curated and focused on telling you, the viewers, their story. Here we go. Tonix Pharmaceuticals just finished a trial of its COVID vaccine on animals. And with me is the CEO, Seth Lutterman, to explain the findings. So, Seth, I took a quick look at these. It looks pretty good. Can you go into detail about what your trial results were with this COVID vaccine?
Thanks, Jane. We're very excited. We tested our vaccine on non-human primates in an experiment where we vaccinated the animals with our vaccine versus two controls, either a sham vaccine or a vaccine that was closely related but wasn't designed to protect against COVID. And in the fourth quarter of last year, we announced very encouraging results about the immune response that these non-human primates mounted. But today, we announced that the vaccinated animals were protected against COVID-2. COVID-2 is the virus that causes COVID-19. So the top line of the results that was issued today was 6 days later, which is a relevant time in this animal model. The vaccinated animals had undetectable levels. So, and in contrast, the animals that were not vaccinated or were vaccinated with a control vaccine had much more.
Very interesting. Well, now we heard kind of as we've been studying all this, 94% effective, 90. Do you have a number on that yet, or are you at that point?
That's a great question. Unfortunately, we can't get that kind of information from this model because these animals don't get as sick from COVID as humans do. But the model that we use is very similar to the models that were used by the EUA vaccines, for example, and all the other vaccines. And we won't have that kind of number until we get into humans, because we have to just look at the amount of virus we can detect instead of looking at how healthy or sick the animals get.
Mm-hmm. Now, when we talked last time, you had explained a little bit about your goals for this vaccine, that it might be something that it could be used every year. I mean, kind of explain how this would fit into the whole COVID vaccine ecosystem.
It's a great question. The three EUA vaccines, EUA stands for Emergency Use Authorization, and I think everyone now knows that they would be the Pfizer vaccine, the Moderna vaccine, and the J&J vaccine. They're all very important, and I first want to say that it was great effort to get them approved. I personally am one dose into the Pfizer vaccine. I urge everyone to get the vaccine as quickly as they are eligible to get it in their state or community. But despite the remarkable achievements of Operation Warp Speed and the potential of these vaccines, they are first generation vaccines. And there are important questions left about these vaccines we just don't know. The most important is durability. How long will someone be protected? So we don't know. Will they only be protected for 6 months, for 9 months? I mean, for me, that's a very good trade-off because I want to be protected for 6 months. But on the other hand, there are older, more established techniques of vaccination that can provide years or decades of protection. So while the EUA vaccines, the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccines are called mRNA vaccines, those are completely novel technology. And the J&J vaccine called Ad26 is almost as new, although it was half of a vaccine that was used in Africa for Ebola, but essentially, at least with an American experience, new. So we just don't know the durability. One of the great advantages of those vaccines is how quickly they could be developed. And thank goodness, because hopefully they're making an impact already, because over 100 million people, I believe, in the United States have gotten their first dose. But it's no time to be complacent. We can't get a year from now and realize that the protection from these is only 6 months. We need other technologies. Also, after the pandemic, we expect COVID to be endemic, meaning that humans are going to coexist with COVID for the rest of the time that humans are on Earth. And that means that like measles, mumps, and rubella, we probably will have to adopt a strategy of vaccinating children against COVID. So we are thinking in terms of that kind of vaccine, ultimately a childhood immunization that could be broadly deployed and tip the balance of this, sharing the earth with COVID, tip it in our favor in the same way that the MMR vaccine, the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, has tipped that balance in our favor. And our technology, in contrast to Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J, which are new technologies, ours is the oldest technology. Literally, the first vaccine was a vaccine to protect against smallpox developed by Edward Jenner in 1796. We believe that our horsepox vector is closely related to the virus that Edward Jenner used. That virus provides years, decades of protection, and it was the most successful vaccine ever because it eradicated smallpox, the only viral disease ever eradicated. So we're taking the best part of the old virus vaccine technology and applying it to this new threat. So I think that's why we're very different.
Very interesting. So the vaccine is called TNX 1800, correct? So
Yeah.
What's next?
What's next is we hope to study humans this year. And the gating item for that is manufacturing TNX 1800 in a quality suitable for human investigation. So that's our big priority. And now we really feel that's the one hurdle left for us to jump through, particularly now that we have what we think is compelling data in the non-human primate animal model. So we are guiding that in the second half, we expect to do human phase 1 trials. So we're rushing towards that goal.
And what are your objectives for 2021?
Well, the most important objective, as we've discussed, is to bring home the Raleigh study, the confirmatory phase 3 study in fibromyalgia, which with a positive study, a drug ready for NDA, would be transformative to our company. The other big thing we're hoping for, again, something we talked about, is to get our COVID-19 vaccine, TNX 1800, into a phase 1 human study.
Okay, well, thank you. Very interesting update, Seth, and best of luck. And please come back and update us as these trials and studies go on throughout the year.
Thank you very much for your interest.
Thank you. Healixa is a new look at healthcare where it can be one spot where you can get access to all kinds of healthcare professionals, but also work your healthcare finances as well. So with me is the CEO, Ian Parker, to explain a little bit more, some updates about it. And Ian, great to have you back here. There always seems to be a lot going on with Healixa. So why don't you give me a quick update?
Great. Thank you for having us back. So obviously the rebranding effort has gone underway. We recently changed the name to Healixa. The team has done an incredible job moving that very quickly. If the market's reaction is any gauge to the measurement of how the name is being accepted out there, our volume has gone up significantly. So I think the market has really enjoyed the name change. We've certainly seen that same thing in that same response inside of the actual marketplace for our products. So that's going very well. In addition to that, we have a number of acquisitions that we recently made. We'll talk a little bit about that today. Those become very important to us, really executing on the overall vision of rolling out these products into the marketplace.
Now you mentioned the team, and you have some people joining the team. So can you explain a little bit more about who they are? What do they bring to Healixa?
Sure. And I think that the most important point I would make on that is that we put a lot of effort into making sure that we have a complete ecosystem, that we have a virtual care platform, we have the pharmaceutical delivery, we have the remote patient monitoring that takes your vital signs directly from the camera on your phone. We have the social relief, which you mentioned in the beginning, which allows us to find aid for Americans that need such aid, and especially in these challenging times. And that completeness of an ecosystem is now starting to attract some incredible talent. These are very talented professionals with incredible accomplishments. Collectively, they've onboarded more than 75 million lives in the past couple of years into the telehealth, into various telehealth platforms. They have scaled companies from 5 employees to 5,000 employees over the course of approximately 6 months. They've served honorably in Congress as well. So this is an incredible team of professionals that's starting to join us, and it really allows us to execute on the vision of Healixa very rapidly here in the near future.
And you just acquired a new pharmacy in Texas. So explain how that fits into the whole Healixa goals and ambitions.
Sure. So the new pharmacy, that was a 5-star pharmacy, we're going to be announcing a name change here to Purely RX. We're changing the name to Purely RX here shortly. That is a crucial piece for us, because what it allows us to do is now have a base of operations for all pharmacy operations in all 50 states. It becomes our central command, if you will. We have an incredible group of people that will be running it, and it allows us to begin the process of pharmaceutical deliveries within the Dallas area, which we are testing right now. So we're launching the application, and now we're doing last mile deliveries for pharmaceutical deliveries inside of the city of Dallas.
And then what should we be watching for next in the Healixa evolution?
Sure. So I think that the big things are going to be on the pharmacy side in the near future here. We have a number of other acquisitions that we're working on. We're currently looking at building out our hub and spoke model throughout the United States. That's happening very rapidly. The big part of our execution on that is going to be having areas in major metropolitan areas like Dallas. So think Atlanta, New York City, Philadelphia, Miami, LA, San Francisco. So those are the pieces that we're starting to put in place right now. And as we build out that affiliate network, that's going to allow us to take what we're doing in Dallas to the rest of the country. Okay.
I mean, you've really done a lot, and we talked just a month ago or so. So there's been a lot of progress since then. Anything you'd like to add before we let you go, Ian?
Once again, just an incredible team of people that I have the honor of serving as CEO, and they've done an incredible job putting this together. When you have a rebranding effort that started 8 weeks ago and is rolled out this quickly, There's no one person that can do that. That is a collective effort, a very heavy lift, if you will, and they've done an incredible job doing it.
Well, great. So always excited to get an update, and I look forward to the next one.
Likewise. Thank you. Thank you again.
InnerScope Hearing Technologies has helped tens of thousands of hearing impaired consumers. And with me is the president and CEO of the company, Matthew Moore. So great to have you here, Matthew.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
So I was doing a little research. I didn't realize 48 million Americans have some form of hearing loss. And that's something people should take seriously. So can you talk a little bit about what this could mean if that is left untreated?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hearing loss, it really affects the whole body. There's a lot of health issues that go along with it. Like, for example, it is connected to even dementia and Alzheimer's. That if you have hearing loss that's untreated, you're 5 times more likely to get dementia or Alzheimer's. It's also connected to heart disease, risk of falling, hospitalization, depression, even suicide. I mean, so really untreated hearing loss, a person can actually live 3 years less compared to someone that has hearing loss, but is using amplification, aka hearing aids. So that is where, you know, hearing loss really needs to be addressed, and really needs to make sure that people really take care of that when they realize they actually have the hearing loss.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting, and it makes sense. I mean, especially kind of the depression about it, because it's frustrating. It makes life more difficult just to live when you can't hear and communicate properly. So if there is such a wide problem, why are people avoiding getting treatment?
Yeah, I mean, it's for a lot of reasons. I mean, you have accessibility, you have affordability of hearing devices, you have the stigma, the denial, the vanity issues that go along with wearing hearing devices. But, you know, it really comes down to education. People really don't understand that they have hearing loss. So that is where we're all about. We're trying to bring access. We're trying to bring knowledge, awareness to hearing loss. Because once you bring awareness to hearing loss, you know, it's kind of like a breast cancer in the Susan B. Komen Foundation. You have colon cancer. You have all of these health conditions that's really have awareness over the past decade or so. That's really brought a lot of these conditions more to, you know, more to the surface, and really people have really started addressing that. And that's what InnerScope is all about doing, is that we're trying to bring awareness to hearing loss, bring awareness that if you have hearing loss, you need to get it checked, and you need to make sure that you get it get it fixed, you know, and you get it addressed by potentially wearing hearing devices or some sort of amplification. You know, we're all about bringing accessibility to the underserved market, because, you know, that is where, you know, there's 40 plus million people that have hearing loss that is being untreated. There's over 50 million people in the United States that have hearing loss currently. That's less than 10 million people that actually are wearing hearing devices today. So it's a huge underserved market that InnerScope is tapping into as of now.
Yeah, well, and interesting that there was legislation just recently passed that allows for more options, some over-the-counter options where you don't have to go to a professional, and that could be a more cost-effective solution for some people.
Absolutely, yeah. That was a big, huge advancement over the past couple of years. Right now, as of now, the OTC law has been passed, but it hasn't. The FDA, due to COVID, has delayed the regulations to get them out. So it was actually supposed to be out August of last year, but because of COVID, you know, the FDA has been really busy, obviously. Totally understandable. So that is where we've, right now there is 2 classifications: PSAPs, personal sound amplifying products, and FDA registered hearing aids. InnerScope actually has both those. We have PCEPs and FDA registered hearing aids as of now. The OTC over-the-counter hearing aids, those are going to be announced any day now. We're literally going to wake up one morning and the FDA has just announced these final guidance, these regulations. That OTC has been announced. So that is where we're actually in the process. We have our devices. We have already FDA registered hearing devices right now that we're selling right now. These are direct to consumer hearing devices that we're able to sell right now. A person does not need to go to see a professional, does not need to see an audiologist to actually get a hearing device.
Well, and I imagine, the number's around 40 million now, but we're an aging society. People are living longer. I would imagine the market would only get bigger. Like, how are you addressing that expectation?
Yeah, great question. We're really growing. We have our own e-commerce. We're already a wholesaler with Walmart. Our products are on Walmart.com right now. We are hooking ourselves up with many retailers. Pretty much every retailer you can think of, or big pharmacy you can think of, and even local and regional pharmacies, we're connecting with them right now to offer our products on their websites, on their shelves, once further clarification of the over-the-counter hearing devices become active. But really, which is fantastic news right now, is that we actually recently just signed a wholesale arrangement to offer our products with BJ's Wholesale Club. This is a brand new thing we've been working on for nearly a year right now, and we've connected with them. Our products are going to be available on their website within a matter of days. And what the great thing is that BJ's Wholesale Club, they really understand the necessity that their members. They have 6 million members nationwide, and they're a Fortune 250 company. They're on the stock market, and what this does is that our products are going to be able to help millions of their members. They really understand that their members need hearing assistance. So it is really it's a great business, but it's also a great humanitarian issue as well, because that is where there is millions and millions of people that are walking around with untreated hearing loss today, and that is where our wholesale arrangements. We're getting more and more each week, each month. We have so many in the pipeline, and that's where our company is really going to start addressing and helping these Americans that suffer from hearing losses because of our distribution path, our wholesale distribution path, as well as our own e-commerce.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. And very interesting. I didn't realize all the technology involved in hearing amplification. So very, very interesting. Thank you so much, Matthew, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Petproducts.com is giving consumers a one-stop shop for everything pets. And not only do they have high-quality products, but also a lot of timely and relevant content as well. And with me is the Executive Vice President, Kevin Yamano. Kevin, great to see you again.
Good to be here again.
On Zoom, yes. So hopefully in person soon. Pet Products has been around for decades. But we just started doing the online thing recently. So bring me up to date about what all the e-commerce division of this company offers.
Yeah, we've really been about helping consumers find what they need and where they need it for a long time. We were a directory before, bringing consumers into their local communities and helping them understand what's available close to them. And as the whole ecosystem changed, we knew that the consumers needed something different to go along with the changing environment at retail and now with the pandemic. So we started selling direct to consumers a little over a year ago, and it's been just a fantastic ride. The consumers have really embraced it as kind of the next wave of what they're expecting in terms of service level support, et cetera, from pet products.
Yeah. Well, I remember when we talked, we were at the NASDAQ still, so it was pre-pandemic, and you had just gotten underway. So there was actually pretty good timing. Because everybody was going online and ordering everything, and our shopping habits have been changed forever, I think. So
And with the pandemic, everyone is buying pets because they're home. And so the timing for us really could not have been better for a growth curve and for a service perspective, because everyone needs a whole different level of service now. And online provides that for them.
Yeah, I know that the pet adoptions have been soaring, which is great for the pets. So good
Exactly.
that they have homes. So, okay, so you just talked a little bit about the growth has been really good. Can you go into a little more detail about that? I mean, sales up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sales have been really, really great for us. And one of the unique things that we're finding is that people are buying in large cities and in rural areas, and we're finding people everywhere they may happen to be. We had at one point been building a platform for small retailers to come on and work with us. And we've found that as we've begun selling our own products and manufactured products, the growth has been astronomical. It's more than we really expected, and consumers have really embraced it. We were kind of worried at the outset of, were they still going to go to brick and mortar? Were they going to adopt online? And as you've seen from Chewy and some of the other big players in the space, the online sales of pet product, pet toys, pet treats, pet food really has seen astronomical growth over the last year.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Chewy and Petco and even Amazon. I mean, how do you distinguish yourself in that crowded marketplace? A lot of big players there.
Yeah, we do go head to head against those guys every single day. And as a small company, it's very hard to go against the Goliaths of the world, very, very well-known household names with Chewy and those guys. We have found that there's some unique aspects we're able to exploit, maybe not exploit, but take advantage of as they continue to grow. We're finding areas where they're not focused so much. A key example of this is in the aquatic space or in the reptile space. Not a whole lot of people are playing in that. We've got almost 3,000 SKUs that specifically address that marketplace, but with smaller stores not being able to stay open long enough or not getting supplies, people are flocking to us for those kind of things. Light bulbs and cages and decorations for lizards and for different things like that you wouldn't even really think of, but we're finding a great audience for that.
Now, how can customers engage with petproducts.com?
Yeah, as a small company, we're always trying to get more customers, right? And one of the key ways we do it is through customer service and really being available to people. We've got online chat on the site so people can chat with us if they have questions. We have a question and answer section. We have email. We have phone. They can reach out to us any number of different ways. We are really a grassroots effort, kind of building from the ground up, supporting the local communities, supporting the local manufacturers and the local customers. We're doing a tell a friend program, and that's kind of the best kind of guerrilla marketing effort that we can go after. If customers sign up, it's free. Just create a free account. You can get a little link. If you share that link with your friend and they buy something, they get a $5 coupon. You get a $5 coupon as well. So there's benefits to you and benefits to your friends for sharing whatever you like about pet products, and we would love anybody to do that. Again, it's free, and it's everybody loves coupons, especially as we're all trying to save a little bit of money here.
Okay, thank you so much, Kevin, for joining.
I've been at Fox Business for 12 years because I'm invested